Hello everybody, welcome to art. I hope you guys had a good Easter and a good Easter celebration, a good little break as well. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drawing a picture of a landscape scene. So I'd like you for this project to have a piece of paper, white paper, a pencil, a black marker, and if you need an eraser, a pink eraser. I've got one on the end of my pencil, so I'll be using that one. Okay. First things first, we need to make sure that our paper is in the portrait mode. So paper, or a painting or a drawing can be usually in two different layouts. The portrait layout, which we often use for drawing pictures of people, or the landscape layout, which we often use for drawing landscapes. Today, actually, we're gonna switch it up a little bit, and we're going to have our paper in portrait mode, just like this, so the long edges are going up and down. Okay, the first thing I would like you to do is take your pencil and just sort of eyeball it, but I would like you to very lightly, barely touching the paper with your pencil, draw a line across the middle. Mine is really shaky. I don't know if you guys can see it, but just draw a line across the middle here so that you know where the middle is about. Then what we're going to do is a little harder, but not so hard that it will make it difficult to erase. We're going to draw a little dot right in the very center of that middle line. This is going to be like our horizon line. And a horizon, you may know this, is where the land meets the sky as you look out in the distance on a landscape. Okay, so this is the land, this is the sky, and this is the center of that horizon. So we're going to draw an oval lake. So I'd like you to draw, you know, it's kind of a roundish oval. It's not super skinny. It's very similar to a circle, but is a little bit wider than a circle. And so go ahead and draw your oval just like this. Now, as I'm looking at mine, it looks like mine's a little bit too off center. And so I'm gonna erase this half. Just like this, and I think I'm gonna go more like this. Yeah, okay, so I think that looks a little bit better. So that is a really good example of why it's so important to draw lightly, so that if you need to erase, you won't be able to see the lines very well. Okay, we are going to start out by drawing a little bit of a sunrise right over our lake. So just draw a half circle, a little dome right above the lake, just like that. We want to make sure that it looks like the sun is coming up. Okay. After that, we're going to draw two hills on either side of the sunrise. So it's like the sun is coming up from a valley. Okay, so we're going to draw just a pretty basic bump right here. And then the same thing right over here. And for this drawing, I think we're gonna have the hills be about the same height. I think that looks nice. Okay, so it's starting to come together. We can get rid of our horizon line now. So I'm gonna erase this. There's a little bit still peeking out here. Okay. I don't know if you were able to see that at all, but it's for sure gone now. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw the reflection of the sunrise and the hills in our lake. Now, one thing that is important to know about reflections in lakes and big bodies of water is that they're not perfect mirror images of the thing that they reflect, unless the water is super flat and still on like a really clear day. Most of the time though, the water in a lake is rippling and waving and makes the thing it reflects a little bit distorted. So instead of having the sun reflected perfectly like this, we're actually going to move the sun's reflection down a little bit. So this is what I mean here. Just like this. I know it seems a little odd off the bat, but it'll make more sense at the end, okay? So right now, just draw this sort of smile line so that it is floating a little bit underneath the very top edge of our lake. All right, now for the hills. Now, because this body of water curves, our hills are not going to look like this. I don't know if you can see that, like that. Instead, what we're going to do is we're gonna have them curve the opposite way. So just sort of do it like this. And then we're gonna do that on the other side. If it helps, it's almost like there's a crescent moon on the top of this lake. But of course, we need to erase this line right here. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, okay, our next step. So on this lake, we've got maybe a little dock right here. And we're not gonna draw the dock, but we can draw the path leading to it. We're looking at this from very far away. So the path is very skinny, at least to the viewer's eyes. So we're gonna draw a path that just goes a little bit away from the lake and then kind of follows the same sort of curve of the lake until it gets to maybe about here. And then we're going to have it curve out. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. When a path goes up a hill, it actually zigzags back and forth if it's a steep hill. That's because if you went straight up a hill, then the path would be very, very steep and people wouldn't really be able to climb it. But if you go back and forth, then you can climb up the hill and it's a little bit less steep. It makes more sense if you can see it in real life, and I'll put a picture up of it, but that is what we're going to draw right now. So the path started here, it curved over, and this is where it's gonna zigzag. So we'll do, I think, 3 zags. So let's go 1, 2, 3, and it's over the hill and zigzags back down along the back, but we can't see that side, so we won't draw it. All right, as I'm looking at this, I think the sky needs a little bit something, so we're gonna draw a rainbow sort of shape right here. Now this rainbow's pretty big. It goes just like this. And I think we'll do the stripes a little bit later, but that's good for now. We can just sketch that in. Oh, I almost figured out. We need to do another path. So most lakes have paths going all the way around, and this one's no different. Let's start, maybe a fork of the path goes here. So we're gonna have it follow along the edge, just like the other one did. And then zig, 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 zag, just like that. Okay, all right, that looks good. Okay, these next few lines are gonna be a little bit confusing, but we're just gonna have to kinda knock them out really quick so that it'll make sense. So I'd like you to, in the very middle of your lake, we're gonna draw a 7. Okay, then next to that, we're gonna draw 2 smile lines, right about there. And then we're gonna draw sort of a frown or rainbow line up in the reflection. Then we're gonna draw 2 ovals you can lightly color in, right here. Then we're gonna go up here and we're gonna draw 2 sort of corners in the corner of our page. I wonder if you can see it yet. Now we are going to flip our paper around and ta-da! We were not drawing a landscape, we were drawing a picture of Jesus the whole time. So good job, you drew a picture of Jesus. Now, as you look at your picture, you might be thinking, oh, I don't know if mine really looks exactly like it's supposed to. That's okay. I was sort of tricking you guys at the beginning and didn't explain that we'd be drawing a picture of Jesus. I wanted it to be sort of a fun surprise. So if you need to go back over a few of your lines and change them up, that's okay. That's why we made sure to draw very lightly. Like, as I'm looking at mine, I think his beard needs to be a little bit thicker right there. So let's go up like this. Okay, I think we'll do that. So once you're done with changing up your picture, go ahead and grab your black marker and we're gonna trace over the pencil lines that we made. So I'm gonna speed this part of the video up. You can do it at your own pace. All right, there we have it. Our outlining of Jesus is all done. So I'm gonna go over the lines I drew and make sure that no pencil lines are sort of peeking out from underneath. So I'm gonna do that really quick. You can do it at your own pace. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So the next thing we're going to need to do is to color this guy in. So I'd like you to grab, let's start with the brown. To color in Jesus' skin, we're going to color pretty lightly with the brown, and it's going to be the same color as his hair. So I want them to be a little bit different shades. So just go ahead and go over his skin pretty gently with your brown crayon. All right, so now the rest of this, oh, whoops, almost forgot the neck part. But the rest of this with the colors that I use, I'm gonna press pretty hard. So I'm just going to speed up this part of the video and you can color it on your own. All right. Okay, so as I was coloring this, I realized there's one more thing we need to draw line-wise. So we need to make sure that the sky up here is not super boring and bland, and I think a great way to do that would be to draw some sun rays coming out from behind Jesus's head. So let's do that. Let's start at the top here, and we'll draw one line. It's kind of like we're starting, like all of the lines are gonna point at the top of his nose, right? So let's start right here. And then let's point another line there, and then another line right there, and then another line right there. There we go. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. So 1, let's see, 2. Three, 4, and 5. All right, let's color, or rather outline, those lines. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's get some the sky color in there, and then we can do the light shining as well. So what I'm gonna do, and you can decide whether or not you'd like to do this, but to kind of show the difference between the light coming from behind him and the sky, I'm gonna draw the sky with strokes that go back and forth like this. That way, when it's all finished up, we'll see, when our eyes look at the blue, it'll see, oh, okay, the blue is going a different direction, so that must be maybe sort of a different space or distance away from us. Let's see if it works out. All right, I don't know if you guys saw that just there. I got a little caught up in going side to side that I started doing the same thing with my yellow. But for our yellow, we're going to make the lines we color go the same direction as these rays of light. So they'll go like this, all facing the very center of Jesus's face here, okay? All right, I think our strategy of having lines go a certain direction kind of helped out. As I look at this, I feel like it's pretty easy to tell that the blue is the sky in the background going side to side, while the light beams are a little bit closer to us, but still behind Jesus's head, going out from him. I realize there's one more thing we forgot to do. Let's go down at the corners here and color in that sky color as well. Just really quick. All right. Okay, I think we've reached the end. So excellent work, everybody, on drawing this picture of Jesus. Go ahead and either send a picture of it to my email, or you can turn a picture of it in on Google Classroom, or, of course, you can turn it in the art basket at school. If you turn it in at the art basket at school, then of course make sure to write your name, write your class, so Mr. Simics class, and write your class number. All right, thanks so much for joining me today, everybody. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next time.